everyone. So I know it's been a while. That's partially because I've just been super busy lately, and partially because my tripod broke, which is really sad, but I'm gonna have to find a way to get a new one soon because it broke a while ago, and I realize how hard it is to make videos without one. But this one should be okay without a tripod. We will see. But this video is going to be all about kind of like those weird little habits that we have, and this one is obviously especially for the reborns. So I feel like we all kind of have like these like weird little habits or rituals that we have to do every day, or else we go crazy. Like, I don't know, there's so many of them. Like, you have to make your bed in the morning or else you can't leave, or just like small things like that. So here are 10 things that I do that most people would probably kind of find a little bit weird with my dolls. So one thing that I kind of am weird about is what type of clothing my dolls wear based on the weather, and I know that is kind of odd just because the dolls are not real and they don't know whether it is warm or cold outside. But I have special clothes for them during the summer and springtime, and then during the fall and winter time, and I really like my dolls to wear clothing that is specific to the weather, which I know is... So weird thing number 2 is I love having birth certificates and certificates of authenticity for my dolls. I like having them hang up just a little bit above their crib so that I can see them, and they look very adorable on this little wall over here. But I just like knowing their basic information like weight, date of birth, and who created them, so that if anyone has any questions or I'm possibly trying to think of something or decide something, I don't have to look through notebooks or old photos or anything like that, and it's just right up here. Awesome. So apparently you guys are going to be seeing a lot of my nursery here today, but another one of my little weird habits is I like creating special spots for my dolls. So this is always Atticus's area. He is always here when he's not in my lap or on my bed. And then there are the girls' areas, and sometimes they switch spots, but this side is just a little bit more feminine, so that's where they usually lay. And then this is a little bit more masculine, so that's where he lays. But the reason why I have always had little areas for my dolls, and very like specific areas, is because I think it's fun to prepare and be like, oh, when this doll comes home, this is where they're going to be, and this is going to be their spot and their special place. And I really like having that for them. And also I always know where they are, and they're not just in weird random places in my house where they could get damaged. So I definitely do think of reborns as a beautiful art form, and I really want to take the best possible care of them. So I like to bathe them, but not too often. And that is definitely one thing I am weird about. I only bathe my dolls once a year, and I make sure to write it down so that I know when's the next time they need a bath. So for the girls, the next time will be in July. And then for Atticus, he's not quite in this entry yet, just because when I get a new baby, unless they're like super dusty or dirty when I get them, which has never happened, thank goodness. But I usually wait until after a year to bathe them. So when Atticus turns 1, he will get his very first entry in this book. Since the babies only do get that bath once a year, I try to make sure that I don't get too much of the oils from my skin on the dolls. So usually when I cuddle with them or hold them, I make sure that they are wrapped up in a blanket, especially if they are wearing a onesie or short sleeve like Atticus is. He's wearing a little short sleeve. See his little froggy legs, they're so cute. But anyway, I do that just so that they stay clean and they don't look shiny or anything like that. I also like having this like blanket between me and the doll, just so that I also don't pull out any of the hairs with my arm, which sounds really weird, but that I'm afraid that is going to happen. So anyway, I like just having this little blanket that they are curled up in. Another thing that I am super big on is nursery organization. I've always liked having a very organized nursery just so that I know where everything is and it is very easy to get to. Plus, I have kind of just liked organizing things ever since I was young, just to make them look pretty and look nice. So, for an example, in the first drawer, I have all short sleeve onesies. There are the girls' ones, and then there are the boys' ones. Obviously, I haven't had boys for as long, so it's way smaller. And then the other ones are also kind of just in categories. So that one's long sleeve, that one is sleepers, rompers, and dresses, boys' pants, girls' pants, and then the accessories like mittens and things like that. The rest of the nursery also kind of goes along with the whole organization thing. As I said before, I really like having a spot in the nursery for my dolls before they come, but there are also a couple of other planning rituals that I have to do before the doll comes home. So one of them is they have to have a name before they get home, and sometimes I change middle names, but I always stay with their first name and whatever gender I choose. So once I have a name and a gender for the doll, I will look at a picture of them and I will pick a couple different outfits to decide from and choose the one that I like the most. Then from there I can pick a couple different accessories. So for this example, I have a little bow and some socks and a bottle as well for their very first bottle. And then I usually pick out a blanket as well just to go with their outfits. And I apologize for the lighting, but the next topic is bows. My girls usually are wearing bows just because I think it looks cute and it kind of helps make their outfit a little bit more girly, because a lot of the times people can't tell the difference between boy and girl babies. So I think it just adds that perfect little cute and girly touch. Another thing about clothing is how it fits the dolls. So as you can tell, this gown is quite long and baggy on Helena, and baggy clothing I think is super cute on dolls, and it makes them look very cuddly and realistic, because all the times newborn clothing or newborns just look a little bit baggy because of how small they are. However, I really don't like when clothes are tight on my dolls. So if I buy something that's too tight, I usually either give it away or I find a doll that it would work for, but I never leave my dolls in really tight clothing. And that is especially important if you guys have a silicone, because if the clothing is too tight, it will actually imprint into the silicone and it will be permanent. So that is another reason why I'm super picky about that. Another pet peeve that I really have is unnatural poses. I see so many people who have beautiful, gorgeous dolls, and I know that they are, just because of who painted them and other photos of them, artist photos, things like that. But they just don't photograph them in a very flattering way. And so they just look weird and awkward and not very realistic. To me, the whole point of having these dolls is to show how beautiful and how realistic they are, and I do my best to try and capture that through my camera. So even when they're laying or sitting down or wherever they are, it drives me crazy if they're not in a natural looking pose. And ta-da! So I know a real baby wouldn't lay on another real baby like this, but if you look at their poses like individually, they look very cute and so much more realistic. So anyway, I think that will be the end of the video, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you want more videos like this, please let me know.